Hello, and welcome to my end of year video for 2021. This video is just a quick video to recap some of my best moments of 2021 and also to talk about what 2022 holds for my YouTube channel. In addition to this video, I uploaded a best of 2021 music video 9 hours ago, and at noon I'll upload December's episode of This Month on the Railroad. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into part 1 of the video, my top 5 catches this year. Number 5. Illinois Central ST70s. Number 5 is not necessarily something that's rare in the Chicago area, but as a Massachusetts rail fan, it's something that I've wanted to see for quite some time. Of course, that train I'm talking about is CN L536 with the duo of ex-Illinois Central ST70s leading. When I went to Chicago this past summer, I hoped to see some of these locomotives, but I didn't expect to actually see any, mostly because I was only there for a weekend, and the trains that the ST70s run on are pretty elusive. To my surprise, when I visited the Amtrak yard at 18th Street, I heard the railroad crossing at Ping Tom Park activate, and naturally, as one does, I ran across 4 lanes of traffic on 18th Street to get a good shot of whatever train was coming. Even more to my surprise was that this approaching train I heard had a duo of Illinois Central ST70s that I had been hoping to see. This was one of those times where I was just in the right place at the right time. Anyways, here it is, L536 accelerating north towards the Electric District connection at McCormick Place. Also, some of you may have noticed that this footage has never been uploaded to my channel, and that's because I'm still working on the main videos that this footage will be used in. I'll explain that more in the end. Number 4. Amtrak PTC train at South Station. This is another of those times where I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, as when I was in Boston seeing inspection cars on Northeast Regional, I got word that Amtrak PTC test train would be following this inspection car by a few hours. Anyways, here's Amtrak Extra 862 with 50th anniversary unit number 46 leading a consist of a few rarely seen inspection cars. Number 3. Amtrak 50th Anniversary Duo on 448. This catch is one that doesn't really happen often, and that's multiple Amtrak Heritage units on one train. On one night, I got word that not only would 2 special Amtrak units be leading 448, but that both were 50th Anniversary units, being 100 and 108. This was pretty cool, especially considering how new these units were at the time of filming this, but also in a few years, I think I'll look back on this when the ALC 42s are more common than the P42s, and remember the days when one could see multiple P42 Heritage units on one train. Number 2. Freshly repainted CSX OCS train. This one was definitely cool. One of the biggest train news stories this year was that the CSX Executive train was repainted from CSX YN3 colors to their new executive scheme, inspired by the old Baltimore and Ohio paint scheme. When the news broke that the train had been repainted, the first place it went was my home state of Massachusetts, so not only did I see the OCS train in fresh paint, but I saw it when it had brand new paint. Unfortunately, CSX tacked 2 GBOs onto the head end of this train due to a computer issue, but nonetheless, it was a great catch. And finally, number 1, CSX Q410 with all 3 Spirit units. On its own, seeing 3 CSX Spirit units on one train would be a pretty good catch, but this just happened to be Q410, a train that usually comes up the river line in the middle of the night, but it came to Selkirk in mid to late morning due to issues in New Jersey. The rarest thing about this train was that the leader, 1776, was long hood forward, something that almost never happens on main lines such as the CSX River Line. The fact that out of all of the days I happened to be going to upstate New York, Q410 had all 3 Spirit units leading, and the leader was long hood forward, and the train was delayed by mechanical issues allowing me to see it in daylight truly made this a once-in-a-lifetime event. Anyways, that's my top 5 catches of 2021, so now it's time for the part of the video where I talk about what the next year holds for my YouTube channel. To begin, I really just want to thank you all because 2021 was my channel's best year yet, starting the year with only 2,500 subscribers and ending the year with over 7,500. Additionally, I made my first video that got over 100,000 views, and I just recently hit a combined 1 million views across all my videos. I attribute this sudden success to making more interesting content than I used to. Back in the beginning of my channel, I just uploaded videos of trains with nothing else. Later on I added titles, and even later I added narration to explain the trains a little bit. but about a quarter of the way into 2021, I started making videos such as American High Speed Rail Week, which were more focused on being mini documentaries rather than narrated railfanning videos. Throughout the year, I've kind of changed up my style of content to fit this, so what am I going to do to continue this in 2022? Well, I still like railfanning, so I plan to occasionally upload just videos of trains, but most, if not all of them, will have companion videos that are high quality narrated videos. Specifically, I plan to do a series called Railroad Review, where I visit specific passenger railroads and talk about their past, present, and future, all while using my own footage from railfanning outings. Basically, if you want an idea of what this will look like, check out my video from Amtrak's Surfline from earlier in 2021. I'll link it in the description in addition to putting it in the top right corner. Essentially, what this entails is that I'll make one mini documentary and one railfanning video of just the raw footage to go along with it. In addition to that, I plan to continue making my monthly series, This Month on the Railroad, while also creating other narrated videos such as my Future of Amtrak miniseries and something really big, that thing being American High Speed Rail Week 2. I've mentioned it a couple times already, but I plan to make a sequel to High Speed Rail Week, which I consider to be the thing that began my YouTube channel's growth this year. I'm currently working on the scripts for these videos, and I plan for it to come out in late February or early March, but it really all depends on whether an Amtrak ALC 42 comes to Boston between now and then. I'm not going to go much more into detail though, because I don't want to spoil anything, but do know that this year's American High Speed Rail Week will be much better than last year's. Finally, one more thing that I plan to continue is rare trains on the MBTA Worcester line, basically just because that seems to be a fan favorite, and also I railfan the Worcester line quite a bit still. So yeah, that's my plan for 2022. I want to make even more compelling content that appeals to a wider audience, so thanks for watching, and stay tuned. 2022 is going to be